Hi, my name is Stephen McGee and I'm the author of Solar Radiation, Global Warming and Human Disease. So it's now the spring equinox here in Tucson, Arizona, and all the plants are actually coming back to life. And we can see that right here. We've got a lot of new leaf growth on the vines. So it's been very noticeable in a lot of the plants. As we can see, we've got flowers on these and new growth over here. And the first thing I want to talk about is this wall, because what you'll notice is it's very sparse around here. Now if we look back, you can actually see it's quite dense with vines back there. So it had me mystified for years, the difference in growth patterns between the two sections of walls, and I do actually believe it was wireless radiation exposure. And I think it is actually from devices that I had in service at the house. And the reason why I say that is, if you look at this plant has actually put on a lot of upward growth since I took out my wireless devices from service, and I could never get this plant to grow upwards. And it appeared to be a response to the changed radiation environment. So I'm going to be watching my vines in this area now that my wireless devices are out of service, and I'm interested to see if it fills up this year. So let's see what else we can see in the garden. So this is the smoke detector test I have. So these are 6 radioactive smoke detectors that my house was built with. I actually ran this test on Dieffenbachia, and all the Dieffenbachia died. So I'm now running it on cactus to see whether I get the same response. So that's where we're up to with that. So over here we actually have a Dieffenbachia, and this is a new one that I've put outside of the home to see whether it will grow, because up on the wall at the top corner of that door on the right hand side used to be this device, and this device appeared to be putting out pulses of microwave radiation that this plant did not like. And I've got other videos showing what it did to the plant, but it basically completely retarded it and made the leaves very, very tiny on the plant. And it did it to two of the plants that I had here before I realized that it was this device that was doing it. So this one's going to grow outside, and we're going to watch it and we're going to see whether it can grow normally now that this device is out of service. So this is the hoop skirt experiment. You see that the tree is in the process of putting up new growth, and over here is the control, and they seem to be at about the same level of growth right now. I'm not seeing any differences in the timing of the seasonal changes in these plants yet. So that may change as the summer goes on, and the idea is that energy gets induced into these rings, which in turn get induced into the tree, and the tree may show some strange growth patterns. So this is the first year I'm doing the hoop skirt experiment, and you'll see that the hoops are actually held together with string. So next year I'm going to change that out to copper wires. So this year it's going to be ran with insulated hoops, and next year it's going to be ran with connected hoops. So this was a plant that I was having a lot of problems with. It's actually budding and it's coming back to life, so it'll be interesting to see how it grows this year. It was severely stunted, this plant. And this is a peach tree. This has come back to life nicely. But over here, this particular plant is kind of unusual in the fact that when I took my wireless devices out of service, all the original growth got dropped, and you can see right here that this is the original growth. It's kind of silvery, and so it dropped all its original growth, and then it put up these new shoots from its base, and it started growing leaves. So it looked like the original growth had actually died, but as you can see, the whole plant Now its spring has come back to life. I was quite surprised at this reaction. But this plant was definitely showing problems with the wireless radiation environment, which is now being significantly reduced by taking out my devices from service. And this one's interesting over here as well, because if you look closely you can actually see that there's a dead plant down there. And this was a little hot zone in the garden. This was the worst zone of the garden. And this plant was on its way to dying. But since I've taken out my wireless devices, it started putting healthy new shoots. So it appeared to be getting severely affected by the wireless fields that my wireless devices were generating. And there's another plant over here that was being affected. So this one is in the process of coming back to life, and we'll watch it during the year and see how well it grows. And this one over here wouldn't grow upwards, it would only grow about 2 foot above the ground. As you can see, it's now changed, and there's a lot of upward growth on it. So if we go down here, there's another plant I want to show you, because I was having so many problems with it. And it's actually growing very, very well. And I have to say, after years of playing around with fertilizer and irrigation, it turned out the only thing I needed to do to get my plants growing was to turn off the wireless devices. So you can see that this one has actually grown quite a lot since we last looked at it. It's now the height of the air conditioning unit. And this one appeared to be in the process of dying, but then I had my utility meter changed out from an AMR meter to a standard analog meter. So this plant definitely showed a reaction to that and is now much, much healthier. So that's my garden. It's spring equinox 2013, and I'll do another video in the summer and another one in the fall, and we can see how the plants are now progressing now that all my wireless products are out of service. Hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I wish you the very best of health. Thank you.